Hey everyone, No Clue, and today we're going to be doing a lot of maintenance on all our lawnmowers because I got this garage emptied most of the way out, except for the front-loading Cub Cadet. And we're going to get an oil change, spark plugs, and some new air filters on our three main workhorses here because I do that every year. Actually, I do the spark plug every other year, but it's kind of like my annual maintenance routine. I go through, change the air filter, and change the oil on all the mowers. So I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try using a time-lapse program I got, and we'll see how well it works out. Alright, so we got all the tune-ups done, and if you notice I didn't pull the snapper out in the time-lapse because it's still sitting here, and I need to do a little bit more work to it. It's got an oil leak somewhere. I got a sneaking suspicion it is, let's not drop the phone now, it is that gasket right there, because I can wiggle it and I can see oil already wanting to come through there, so whether it needs it or not, it's getting changed. But I'm gonna start it up and see where the oil's leaking from after I either steal the battery from another lawnmower or charge this one up, because this one's just dead. So as soon as this thing's all charged up, I'll be back. Bye bye fresh oil. Freaking waste of money. Alright, so I got this engine off, and if you come over here, this is all fresh motor oil that's leaked out of the crankcase from running the thing for 20 minutes. That's a lot of oil. So, freaking hoopty. I found out what's leaking on it, and actually, this bolt is part of the reason. So, let's see if I can get down in here. No, I'm going to need a drop light for that. Let's get this drop light over here. Alright, so, if you look, can't really look because that light's so bright it's glaring. There we go. Where the two halves of the crankcase meet, it's leaking underneath the cylinder. And, it'd be easier to show as soon as this oil's done leaking out, or draining out of it. It's such a shame. Good thing that oil was on sale, otherwise I'd be mad about that. So this, right now I got it setting on a Chevy 350 turbo bell housing, so I can keep the engine up in the air so I can drain the oil into the pan. But seriously, only new lawnmower I've ever owned, and this has given me so many problems. That Ford I've never had a problem with, and that Cub Cadet that has the front loader on it, never had a problem with. Like, that hydraulic system leaks less than the oil out of this thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this bolt is actually holds the two halves of the crankcase together, and I pulled it up and this thing was just sitting on the lawnmower like that. So the thing was unthreaded all the way, and it worked its way out and got stuck like that. So the oil's almost all the way out, so make it a little lighter. Maybe I can lift this with one hand now. Put the plug back in there. And I need to get a new plug for this, because gonna have to set the phone down here for a minute. Maybe. So, come on. You clip down. There we go. There, you can see in between here. Oh, if I got the camera angle right, you can see right here there's a lot of oil, a lot of fresh oil leaking out of here. So I'm going to need to get a new crankcase gasket. And here's where this bolt went. It's supposed to go right there, and it's not there. So that's probably part of the reason why this thing is leaking. But it's because I got to clean the threads up on this anyway, so I'm going to have to separate the case no matter what, so it needs a new gasket now. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change this main seal here. Because if I'm taking my time to split the case, I'm going to punch this seal out and change it. Because knowing my luck, that thing will start leaking immediately afterwards. And yeah, so this thing's basically getting brand new bottom end as far as gaskets are concerned. Maybe I'm going to change this breather housing here, but it doesn't seem to be leaking yet, and it's something I could change while it's still installed on the lawnmower, so I don't think I'm going to worry about it. So it's kind of sucks. I don't know what's the deal with this one bolt being loose. I checked the tightness on all the other bolts, and they're torqued to the right spec. So I don't know if they wiped out the threads in this and they said screw it and let it go on, or what. But either way, it's kind of a shame that this engine started leaking, because this is the only overhead valve engine I've ever owned. Or the first overhead valve engine I've ever owned. That racing mower is the second. And I've had nothing but problems with this. So hopefully this will change my opinion about overhead valves by this never leaking ever again. Except for that oil seal at the dipstick tube, because this is what I was guessing was wrong with it, because there's a lot of sludge built up in here. But I cleaned it all up. I ran the thing. I over revved it. I pulled on the governor and whatnot to keep it running and whatnot. And nothing ever came out of here. So I have no idea what's the deal with that. Why there's so much sludge around there. I think it's actually just kind of barely coming between the crankcase, because of the uneven pressure on it. So I've been rambling here, so I'm gonna end the video off. So I got the tune-up done on the two workhorse lawnmowers, because that Ford cuts a pretty big yard, and I don't want to cut the yard with the push mower, because that kind of sucks. And that front loader just needed to be maintained, because my dad was telling me that lawnmower was fine, and then I drained the oil on it and the oil was black. So I don't think the oil was fine at all on that thing. So yeah, that's everything as far as tune-ups are concerned, and until then guys, I'll catch you next time.